Hey, me Tina here. How's everyone's doing? Welcome to my channel here. Well, new moon is coming up, so let's ask Laurie Johnson what's gonna happen, what we need to do. Hey, Laurie, how are you doing?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. Maybe it's a new moon coming up. That's why this energy just makes us feel so bright and happy. I don't know why, I just feel good.
It does. Well, we had the full moon about a week ago, and that was a big release. Like we said last week, it was a big release for the entire year, the astrological year. Sorry. And then we had the equinox, which balanced us out and brought us like an uplifting energy. But then we have a new moon coming on Friday the 1st, which is pretty cool. Friday, all the days of the week are assigned to a planet. So Friday is Venus Day, and it is about love. It's about self-love, female power, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So not just that, women need to do this because men need to do it too, but it's a new beginning. And it's a good way of being able to kind of focus in over the last 2 years more, when we've been so in survival mode and having to focus on focusing on making your kids survive or your family, or how do I deal with work when everything else is going on. So we've been a little bit more scattered as we're coming to the end of COVID and things are opening up when the weather is getting warmer. Although I saw that, what is it? Somebody in Montana had 70-degree weather and then 2 days later they had a snowstorm. So it's like, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. I don't know if that was
Right.
Montana. I just got that report from somebody. But that kind of energy is the new energy is coming in. And after we had this big release and then the balancing energy, it's kind of like, let's now focus ourselves on who we are and where we're going. And with the energy that we're in right now, the aggression energy that I call it, or the clarity energy, that it's making us very, very scattered because we can't do what we did before. We can't build where our future is going based on where everything was, and let's go back to that. It's
Mhm.
the new normal. So we're getting an energy of new normal, but we can also participate in that in being more clear on who we are, not clear on what we want to do, on what we want to accomplish, on any of that stuff, because that's there with us. But if you know who you are, the way people work is that the energy that they give off, if you're angry or you're happy or you're generally just a kind person, you give that off. Those are your natural vibes, and people will be drawn to that.
Yeah.
So you get people that are really, really angry, they're going to draw angry people to them. You get people that are really clear on who they are, you're going to get people that are clear on who they are drawn to you. And right now, people are like, I don't want to put up with stupid. I don't want to put up with angry. I just want to find my tribe. And there is an exercise that you can call a meditation or an exercise, or I have it on my website as a spell work. It's like called the 40-day spell. And it's
Mhm.
a way of being able to focus clarity on who you are and
Mhm.
reprogram kind of like your vibes in a way of not, I'm reprogramming my vibes, but doing something that lifts your energy into the vibe that you want it to be. I've taken this exercise from Sanskrit Chanting, because Sanskrit Chanting is you do a mantra every day for 40 days.
Mhm.
And 40 is a significant number. It's a power number. It's a sacred number. And in every religion, there's always reference to 40. And in the Bible, it's like, 40 days and 40 nights for Noah, and, Jesus in the desert for 40 days and that kind of thing. So there's always the 40 going on. So 40, actually going back pre-Bible, this was like Sanskrit stuff.
Mhm.
Sanskrit being the oldest language, it's like when you pronounce the seed syllables that are put together into words for a chant, that changes your vibration. If you do it 40 days in a row, you lift your vibration from where it was into this new by reminding yourself over and over and over, and you lift your vibe every single day. So I
Mhm.
based it on this. So what we do now is that we make a list of 40 things. Again, that 40, that if you met yourself for the first time, what would you like about you? And not about what other people would like. What would you like about you if you're seeing yourself? It's important for you to be able to see yourself really clearly. So you do it first person, I am, I have, I do, in present tense, without negatives. So if you want to say something like, I don't smoke, instead of using the contraction or the no, not, can't, whatever, you put in, I am healthy without smoking. Say it in a positive way, because our subconscious, just as an FYI, our subconscious does not hear the negatives. So when you say something negative, the subconscious is hearing and projecting something else. As
Mm.
an example, on communicating with animals, if you say don't to a dog that's peed on the carpet and you don't want the dog to pee on the carpet, the dog is hearing pee on the carpet, not don't, because they skip over, our subconscious animals skip over that. So you're giving the visual and the energy of, oh my God, he peed on the carpet. You're seeing that. The dog is hearing that and hearing the pee on the carpet and getting the visual to pee on the carpet. So he pees on the carpet. And then we get all pissed off because they didn't hear us because they don't do the don'ts.
Right.
Okay. So
Wow.
when we're doing this meditation or the spell or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
for women, this starts on the 1st, on Friday, the 1st of April, because Friday is Venus Day. It's about love. For men, if they want to do a male power thing, it's going to be the following Tuesday, because Tuesday is Mars Day. So it's that masculine energy, that masculine power.
Mhm.
But you make that list and you put it on either red or pink paper. Red is for passion and for courage. Pink is for unconditional love.
Okay.
Okay. And this is for men and women. It isn't like that's a girly color for men. It is a color of unconditional love. It's the strongest power in the universe.
So now, quick question, Laurie. If any audience watch this video after the 1st of April, can they still do it on the
Oh,
next new
yes.
moon?
Yes,
Okay.
it's the energy. Now, the reason that this Friday is important because we usually do not get a new moon on a Friday.
Oh,
Okay, it's
okay.
like throughout the week. So to start this, we do it from the new moon to the full moon, when the moon is growing, when the moon is waxing, because anytime you do spell work or you do meditation work, if you want to call something to you, then you do it while the moon is getting fuller. If you do it from the full moon to the new moon, what you're doing is releasing. That's the time to release
Ah.
things. So this is a time to accumulate, to call things to you from the new moon to the full moon. So
Mhm.
if you miss this Friday or the following Tuesday, then you have another week before the full moon comes in for you to be able to do this work. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you make the 40 things, the list, and you put it on paper before you do this meditation. And then on Friday for women or on Tuesday for men, before you get out of bed in the morning, you read that list to yourself. You don't have to do anything else. Just read the list to yourself. You can do it out loud. You can do it in your head. It doesn't matter. And before you go to bed at night, you read the list to yourself before you sleep. Because the idea here is if anybody still has like radio alarms, radio clocks, and
Mhm.
that goes off, whatever song you hear, whether you like that song or not, that song's in your head for the rest of the day because it's the first thing you heard in your consciousness. So that's it. When you get up, you read this list because that energy of who you see yourself as in a positive way, because it's not like, oh, I am an idiot. You're not going to put that down. It's like, I am a good person. I am very kind. I am very loving. If you're doing it about love, it's like, I know how to kiss. I know how to cook, if that's important. You do things that you feel are important that you recognize about yourself. So you read that list, and as you read it, you kind of program that to be rattling around in your brain through the day. And the same thing at night is that you read it to yourself, because then it gets into your mind and it rattles around all night long and it shifts your vibe. Now, the key thing on this then is that you do it for 40 days. You do it for 40 days in a row. Because if you stop and miss a day, you start again. If
40
you
days.
stop, yeah, if you miss a morning, you got to start again, because it's a cumulative effect and you need to start again in a new moon. But this is like, a lot of people look at spell work as like, I'm going to light a candle and I'm going to bring money in. That's not the way it works. You put your energy into it. You put yourself into it. The more you put into it, the more you devote to this, the more you're going to get back. It's like, again, you put the energy and the intention in, and the intention isn't this candle's going to do all the work for me. Because I've had people, say, well, do some spell work for me. I'm going, no, you do it for yourself. I'll show you how to do it. But if you want the power to it, it is your desire for that.
People
But
are lazy. They want somebody else to do it for you.
I know that's the big thing. So now we're in this time where we are going to get into some pretty cool energy in May. And April's not going to be great, but I'm saying when we get into the energy in May, Jupiter is going to move into Aries, and this is going to like lift everybody up anyway. That's on the 10th of May. This is probably one of the biggest events that's going to happen throughout the year.
Wow. So this is actually just made because Jupiter is very, very powerful, beneficial energy.
Yes.
So by doing this work that you just recommended, 40 days, I think that's going to amplify the
That's
energy
exactly it.
within each one of us.
Well,
I,
it
I
gets
mean,
us clear on who we are. If we're clear on who we are, we can call things into us. If we're
Yeah.
calling things in, it's like, I want to be happy. You don't know what that is. So it's not about trying to do something, trying to make something happen. It's about, this is who I am. Because again, the energy that you put out is what you call to you. If you see yourself as successful, and it doesn't mean I have to make a lot of money. It's, are you successful as a human being? Are you a good human being? Are you good to other people? Are you loving? Are you loving of yourself? But it's, remember who you are, because we've been very scattered trying to survive. And this is a way of calling it all in, so that we can all be in our own power within. Because that's the thing, power over, then Piscean age lesson, Aquarian age energy is the power within, on who you are. Know who you are. This helps you
Wow.
know who you are and remind yourself who you are.
You know, Laurie, this is amazing what you just said, because I'm a hypnotherapist, so I totally got what you're saying. You call it the spell, but this is like, for me, self-suggestion, and oftentimes a lot of people lacks love to themselves, and we tend to look at other people like, oh, you're beautiful, you're amazing, but we never say it to ourselves. We never see ourselves to be loving, kind, amazing, successful. So by you, telling us to do this for 40 days, and that's what we do in hypnotherapy as well, at least 30 days. But this is amazing. You utilize the energy of the new moon, which is very, wow, this is totally powerful.
It is, it's very powerful. And when this is used for calling love, which people can do also. So if you're going to make the list of 40 things to call love to you, then you make a list of 40 things that if you met yourself for the first time in a relationship, what would you like about you? I've also used this for calling a job, because I had a woman, an executive, who during the time in 2008 when everything fell apart and she was out of work, and this is a very highly qualified woman, she couldn't get a job. She went on interviews like 3 times a week for 6 months, couldn't get a job. And she got very, very disheartened, because she was very skilled and very successful before she was laid off, not because of the company, because of the money, but I mean, the company didn't want to let go of her. So she did this list as, if I met myself for the first time in a job interview, what would I like about me? And so it was, what is she good at in work? How does she see herself at work? And honestly, 2 weeks later, she called me. She started it right away. And if you do that, then it's starting on Thursday, because between a new moon and a full moon, because Thursday is Jupiter day, and it's about business, and it's about success in business. So it's the days, but she went on an interview, and in the middle of the interview, she remembered all the things that she was telling herself in the morning and the evening, and it shifted her energy, and she got the job.
Wow, that's amazing. This is like a self-empowerment,
It is. It's a shift in energy, so that you can, it's again, when we're going into the rest of this year, that even though we're still in April energy, or we're going to be in April energy, or this aggressive energy that lasts through April, it is to be clear on who you are. And it makes everything so much easier, because again, we are scattered and the energy is scattered. And if we know who we are in the scattered energy, it just gives us more direction for when the energy shifts, and makes it easier for us. And it's kind of like, you've already done the homework, you've done your due diligence, you've done your vetting. Now here comes the energy in May, bam, we're ready to rock and roll. And it helps us, make us feel better about who we are. Because too many people, again, it's like the self-judgment, isolation with nothing to compare yourself to. We kind of get lost on who we are. We're going to be lost anyway, just because that's the energy is like shaking us up, so that we're not going back into a new normal. We're moving into the new normal. But as that is being created for us in an energetic way, we can also participate in how we're going to take advantage of that by being clear on who we are. And again, like I always say, and then you let it flow. So if you do this for 40 days, at the end of the 40 days, you burn the paper and you let it happen. Because
so you write down on the paper and you read it out loud every day, every morning and every night.
Morning and every evening, and before you go to bed. Yeah.
I like the fact that you ask the question about yourself first. Like, if I'm going to hire me, why? What do you like about me, myself? Or even relationship, or in every aspect. I like that, instead of just writing down, but when you ask a question about yourself, it allows us to take a look at myself even more deeper.
Yes. And that's really important, because we've been skimming. It's kind of like, I know who I am, that's fine. I got to survive, or I got to take care of my kids, or I got to take care of this. It's always been what we've had to do. And we've kind of let ourselves go for the last 2 years out of necessity. I get it's necessity, but still, we need to be reminded of this. And this is a perfect timing. New astrological year, first new moon of the astrological year in Aries, which is about action, very simplistic, very basic primal action. So you do this, and I recommend that you do it more for yourself than for love at this point, because the more that we're clear on ourselves, the easier it is to call love, and the easier it is to call work. So it's about being able to be really clear, and it again gives us focus for the rest of this year. And if we remember that, and then, if you keep the scratch list, the one that you put together, and then do it again if you need to. But the point of it is, it's again, when you're asking for help from angelic energy, you don't go, okay, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me.
And without doing anything.
Yeah. Help me. I'm trusting you to do it without me having to remind you every single day. Because if somebody asked you a favor and they ask you every single day, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? You're going to get pretty pissed, because it's like, I'm doing it in this time. Let the angelic energy respond. Let your energy that's going out bring something to you. And usually what you will find is about 20 days in, you're going to start getting really positive response. That's about half of who you really are, because it's not bringing everything to you. It's not like solving all your problems or bringing super clarity, but it's giving you the hint. This is working. It's, if you're doing this for love, a lot of people around day 20 have started getting people paying attention to them that they never did before.
Right.
But it's like not the full individual that they're looking for or matches them. So it's just the hint that this is working. And it kind of, at that point, you might need a lift to continue, because this isn't doing something for 40 days in a row is not necessarily how we in the United States we don't like to function like that. It's like, don't tell me I got to do something 40 days in a row. I'm not telling you. I'm saying, if you want to accomplish something, put some energy into it, put commitment into it, because then it shows the universe that you're participating.
Well, Laurie, it's just like anything else. It's creating a habit. Like if you wanted to get on a diet, you got to do it at least a few months or 6 months, or even worked out. It's not like you do it for one day or 1 week. Okay, I'm done. It's not going to work. You know? Mm-hmm.
So this is a way of forcing you to have to do it. But the thing is that it's easy to do, because you don't have to wake up and I got to get into a meditative state. You wake up, you read a list you already put together. So it gives us, in the Western world, we just don't know meditation at all. It's not how we're brought up. So learning it as you're growing up is very different than like in India, where it's like, that's part of your life. You don't even think about it. It's just part of it. So this is getting you into a zone where you're reminded of who you are every day and every night, when you don't have to think about it. It's like you did all the thinking when you were putting the list together. That's why it's important to put energy into that. But it's, again, when you read it, it's like, it's not brain surgery to then wake up in the morning and here's the list. I am, I have, I do.
To me, it's like a form of a prayer, but toward yourself, a prayer toward self-love,
exactly.
Empowerment.
Yes. And as we build new society over the next 20 years, as we build our new structure and how we relate to others and what we're letting go of, the more you know yourself, the clearer everything will be. And right now, pretty much everybody I've talked to for the last couple of weeks really just want clarity, because with this aggressive energy going in, it's like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what's going on. And they've known before, and now they don't. This is going to go away, but it's good for you to get as focused as we can right now, for self, for the world, yes, but for self. Because there are times, and we had one last year that ended, that was for about a 2-year journey. We started another one at the beginning of, or at the end of February, with all the Putin stuff and the aggressive energy, where the growth of humankind is more important than the growth of the individual. So right now we're in that energy. And so the rhythm of how things happen for individuals is really very unconventional, very chaotic to a certain point, meaning you're expecting things to happen because you've done all the things to get them to happen. And it doesn't. Like, my client with the job right now, if she was going for the job and she was going for the job and she was going for the job, she was not clear on who she was. She wouldn't be clear now. So being able to make things happen in a normal way is not happening, because even if people don't know it, we're all participating in feeding the energy for the growth of humankind. And I'm saying this started with the aggressive energy because it started with Putin bringing everybody together in the world by him invading Ukraine. And that caused everybody else to have to respond to that, everybody in the world. So it is a world event. But just as an FYI, I don't believe we're going into World War III. I think it's going to stop before then. people are so concerned that we just can't go there. We're being a little too cautious in actions, but still, no World War III on this. We don't need to do that again in order to learn what this is showing us, because
Right.
everybody but Putin is on the same page.
Right. Right. That's true,
So
because I've heard people talk about, are we gonna have World War III? Is it gonna happen? And some people are concerned about that too, you know.
yeah, well, what
Mhm.
he's doing, he's again, and I'm saying he's the post Piscean age poster boy now. He's taken over for Trump for that in a world event as opposed to a United States event.
Yeah.
But he's doing everything. He's exuding Piscean age power over, ego, male dominance. And I saw on the news the other day, they were saying Putin really believes, he spiritually believes in Russia. I'm going, he doesn't spiritually believe in Russia. He spiritually believes in him. So it's not
Himself.
like he's doing this for the good of Russia, because he's
Right.
like punishing his own people. How can that be a good leader? But also Piscean age for 2000 years ruled through fear. And that's what he's bringing up. And that's what he's always brought up. It's kind of like, okay, you don't listen to what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop a nuke, because he's crazy enough that people would think that he would do that, or he'd do, chemical weaponing, because he has no boundaries when it comes to fulfilling his own ego. But that's all Piscean age, like again, right in our faces, in the world's face. So we
Right.
can realize what we need to do about that. But this is the last big Piscean age push. And it's a huge
Wow.
lesson for us. And it's going to go on as long as we need it to in order for us to get the memo, which most of us got. And on a world event, we've got it. But it's kind of like, okay, how do we work with it? How do we manifest, that we are all together? And we're working on that. But
Mhm.
we've already had 4 years of Trump telling us, and this isn't political, I'm just saying that he's the poster boy for the Piscean age about what we don't want to do, what we don't want to have in our lives anymore. And that's
Mhm.
what Putin is doing. We don't want to have an autocrat scaring the crap out of the entire world because he can push a button.
Mhm.
So
Wow. Wow.
all that Piscean age stuff is coming up because of him, right in our faces. And it's literally like what we're facing now with this is like we're at university and we're graduating next week, and we've got finals this week, and all the finals are on one day, because all the lessons that we're supposed to be learning are all happening right now. There's
Right.
no lag time. Let's spread this out over a couple of years, or we had the opportunity to learn this stuff before, we didn't. So it's like, all right, here are the lessons again, do them all at the same time. So again, it's very chaotic and it's very scary. But the point of it is, we survive this, no nuclear option. If there's nuclear, it's going to be very localized, and then
Yeah.
it's going to stop immediately, because the world will not put up with that. But it is us getting into that clarity, and personal clarity with the 40 things helps then the world have clarity, because if you have clarity, what you're projecting for the growth of humankind is clarity for humankind.
See, I love what you just said, Laurie, is personal clarity. We're projecting out the world energy, because if each person's really work on themselves instead of projecting the difference and arguing, with the difference that we have, why not just focusing on ourselves and have that clarity, like you said, because that's going to bring more peace and happiness into everyone around the world. Things like this wouldn't be happening to us. Because all
Yeah,
I've seen in the past couple of years during the COVID lockdown, it's just a lot of separation, a lot of argument, I mean, on the social media. So I was like, wow, this is crazy, you
yeah.
know?
Well, there's
And
been a lot of fear, and fear throws things around. And honestly, we've lived in fear because that's been the ruling control mechanism
mhm,
for at least 2000 years. The male dominance will control everybody else through fear. With
yeah.
religion, it's through fear of, when you die, if you don't do what I say you're going to do as a priest or a monk or whatever, then you're going to hell, or God's going to punish you. That's been the thing. It's been so pervasive. We don't understand. We really can live totally without fear and totally without stress. But
Yeah.
since we never remember doing that in recent memory, like within the last 2000 years, which you got to have a pretty big memory in order to remember 2000 years ago, but your life, whenever that was. But it's just that release of not being afraid anymore. Meanwhile, the news and the politicians and world politics, everything is still feeding fear, which is what Putin is doing, because it's hitting everybody. And this is the thing that, I mean, if you talk to people and say, okay, you don't have to live with stress anymore, they can't imagine that. because it's like you just accept stress. Things are going to be crazy. I'm not going to be able to get to work on time, or my boss is going to be an idiot. So we go through so much stress. We're so used to it. We have so much within our bodies. We don't even remember actively how much there is. We don't need to do that. And this is part of that transition to get to that point over the next 20 years, 20 years, that this stuff is going to change. We're not going to be totally stress-free or totally without fear in 20 years, but a lot further along than we are now. Because if you experience that, you want to hold on to it. You don't want to let that go.
So you say next 20 years is going to be a lot better than where we're at right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Are we going to be alive? Are we still going to be here, Laurie?
Yeah, we're still going to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
we're going to live like over 100 years old. And, that's possible if you live without stress. It's a stress that actually getting us into this health, issue. That's a problem. And you're right about that. I have to agree, because everybody around our life is always on the go, 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 always stressed about paying bills, stressed about not having enough, stressed about everything in media as well.
Yeah.
So
well,
go ahead, sorry.
Well, part of the Piscean age, yeah, I know we're like back and forth. Part of the Piscean age power over structure is scaring people into, you do what I need you to do. And then when we got into the industrial age, very specifically, we started building this bigger, harder, stronger, faster mentality when it came to work or what you need to accomplish. Like literally, we were talking about kids last week. It's like when you're in sixth grade, then your parents start thinking about what college you're going to go to and start doing college prep. So there's pressure there that you've got to do something. And in the United States, that's like, okay, we have an opportunity. Anybody who comes here has an opportunity. There's no limit to what you can do, except there is, but I'm saying that, that's the energy of where we are in the United States, that everything is possible here, where it isn't in other countries, which is why people come here. But with that possibility, if you don't see it as a possibility for yourself, or you don't flow with that, then you stop yourself. And we've been taught over and over and over again, everything is possible. But then we get that fear thing coming in, and the bigger, harder, stronger, faster mentality is, and I do this as a joke, because when I was in the entertainment industry in LA, the joke was, you won the Academy Award yesterday, but what did you do today? It's like, there's no downtime. There's nothing. I won the Academy Award. It's the only one I'm going to win in my life. This is wonderful. I got it for a screenplay. I got it for acting. I got it for whatever. That's a great accomplishment. Yeah. What did you do today? Did you have a meeting? Did you pick a script? Did you start shooting something? That was the joke, but that's the mentality that we're getting out of over the next 20 years. We started doing that when we had people forced to work at home. So their work ethic was on themselves, and they had to be responsible for their timing and for them getting work done. And it has been proven multiple times that that is more productive than being in a stressful office environment.
Oh God, Laurie, I wish we would have had this talk about the 40 days, meditation, or when we had a lockdown, because a lot of people were home and they're just like frantic and they're so super stressed. Because I think this technique that you're showing us today is totally powerful, like extremely powerful. Coming from the hypnotherapy background and all this subconscious work, I mean, I can tell you, like, wow, that's exactly what we do for the clients too. But I like the style that you have, where you ask yourself questions in every aspect of our life, because that's actually like deeper. We have to really look at ourselves deeper in doing that. Now let's get clarity on that. You said male has to be on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Correct. Why is it on Tuesday and not the same day as a woman?
Well, because Friday is Venus Day. It's Venus Power Day. So that's about female power, but it's also about attracting love in a relationship. So men can do it on a Friday if it is about them trying to attract love. But if you're doing it for your own self-empowerment, for female empowerment, it's on a Friday on Venus Day. And for men, it's on Tuesday, which is Mars Day. So that's the female male equivalent here. So you start on Tuesday if you're a guy, so that you can bring in, and it's not like that masculine power over, because that's been Piscean age. That's just one version of who men are. Men are also kind, and they're healers, and they're loving, and they're psychic, and they're intelligent. So it's not limited to power over, but the Mars energy is about man, and the Venus energy is about woman, and they're both really equally strong. But men don't want to start on a Venus day. It's not conducive to what they want to accomplish in recognizing and having clarity on self.
I see. And from new moon to the full moon.
Yes.
And after that, they burn the paper. The male has to write down on the blue paper, and the woman has to write down on the pink paper. Is that what you just
No, it's
considered?
on red paper for either one, because red is for passion and for courage.
I see. Got it.
And it's an
Okay.
initiating. It's the first color in the color circle. So it's the beginning of the rainbow, but it's the beginning of things. But it
Right.
also is for passion. And passion doesn't necessarily mean about love. It means about self-love too. But if you're more concerned and you want it to be a gentler energy, then it's pink for unconditional love for men or women. Those are the colors. That's not about a sex. That's about the passion or unconditional love, which either one of them is good. It depends on what fits best for you. Because if you want to do something about fast luck, then you do it on yellow. As if you're looking for work, which you would start on Thursday, then you put it on yellow paper for fast luck and intelligence. So it's,
Mm.
there's color scheme, there's the timing of it and all this kind of stuff. This is, what you do with spell work is that you get all this stuff together and put it all together. So the vibes of everything that you're working with are on the same page.
So let's, again, just kind of repeat the same question just to, have the audience get that. If someone missed this video and they missed this cycle, this April, the next new moon, they can start over again and new
Yeah.
moon to the full moon.
Yes, anytime during the new moon and a full moon. That's what I'm saying. This Friday is powerful because the first is on, the new moon is on that Friday. And even though we call it April Fool's Day, that's a whole story about why that is. But it's a first on a new moon in Aries in a new astrological year. So it's like new. So program yourself, not as the new you, but remembering who you are, getting back to your own personal power within.
I like that. Reprogram yourself.
Yeah.
To know about yourself. Empower yourself. Wow. And you have all this information on your website, right, Laurie?
I do. There is a drop-down menu and it's under Metaphysic Gifts, which is a page that has like, here's how to do candle magic and here's how to do the Ho'oponopono. There are instructions there. And if you scroll down, there's a 40-day love spell. And then there's the version of it that's just the 40-day spell. And it talks about starting it between a new moon and a full moon and the timing of it. And I think the colors are there, but the colors are also available somewhere else on my site in case you need to reference that.
Oh, good. So your website is lauriejohnson.com.
LaurieJohnsonPsychic.com.
There you go. I'm going to put it down in my description as well, just in case if you missed that. Sounds good. Anything else you would like to share with us, Laurie? Because what you give us today with this 40 days, spell, I think it's very powerful. That's, to me, it's the same thing as, reprogramming yourself in a hypnotherapy. Same thing. And what makes your techniques more powerful? Because in hypnotherapy, we just have to write down like, I am love, I'm strong. But with your technique, you add this question to ask yourself. That's even like, wow, we get deeper, much deeper into the core of our soul, our heart, to like, why would I hire myself? Then you're gonna feel who you are, really.
You have to recognize it. Yeah. And it's surprising because I've done this for myself, and about number 25, I'm like, okay, what else can I think of that I'm good at? What else can I think of that I like about myself? And sometimes it's a stretch to be able to put that energy out there, to be able to see yourself clearly, that you can come up with 40 things, but it's got to be 40. It's got to be for 40 days. That's the power of it.
And the 40 for each category. Let's see, love is 40. Career is 40, right?
Yeah. It's the focus on what you're doing. It's kind of like, I'm not going to do a spell that is about love and then include money. It's like, do the love. And it's not about, okay, there's another thing, just the last thing about money is that how we have perceived money, it has been a power issue. I have more than you, therefore I'm more important. I can destroy you. I can hurt you if I have more, or I'm just more important. That's all there is to it. But the way that the energy is going to flow into Aquarian age, money is energy that flows. And they said in Matchmaker or whatever, I can't remember the name of the musical, that, Dolly, hello, Dolly, that she says, money is like manure. You got to spread it around, helping things to grow. So this is it, but it's like, it is energy. It is just a flow of energy, and we've held on to it and made it be stuck. But as we get out of the fear that we're going to lose something if we don't have more money, then we get to be more comfortable in things. Because we've really forgotten that if everything was taken away from us, and we've got a little bit of piece of that, with how secluded we've been with COVID, But if everything was taken away from us, yeah, some people wouldn't adjust to it. The younger souls who are like, oh my God, I don't have my life. I don't have my Starbucks. I'm going to bitch on Starbucks again. But if you don't have that, we are survivalists. We are adaptable individuals, and we will rebuild. We're not going to have to go down to nothing again. But if we did, we could still make it. It's an adjustment. We're not really good at adjusting, but us as human beings are. We've forgotten that because we haven't had that threatening us. But we're incredibly adaptable, and making this, like, you're adapting yourself to this new world. You do that for yourself. You like you said, reprogram yourself. But it's like you're looking at things from a different perspective here, which is like, oh, I'm pretty cool. I'm loving. I know I'm loving. Nobody else may see that, but I know I am. It's not about how others see you. It's about who you know you are. Just, yeah, go delve deep inside and figure that out.
I mean, this is really like, you're teaching people to believe in themselves, love in themselves, Laurie. I
Yeah.
just feel like this is so powerful, very powerful take. It is, because I like beginning of the show, we should go with the flow. I have no idea what you're gonna talk about, but when you brought it up, all this, I'm like, oh my God, this is so powerful, Laurie. Yeah, it's like light bulb. I'm like, God, I knew about this, but God, this is even better.
It's
That's
simple. That's the thing. We Americans
right.
like things simple. So
And
this
it's
is simple
free.
and
It's
direct.
free.
Because,
Yeah.
you can do a Sanskrit chant for this stuff too, but
Mhm.
we're not going to learn Sanskrit. We're not
Yeah.
going to chant. It's like, oh, the mala beads. Okay, what do I do with that? Hold them this way. Don't touch it with this finger. Blah, blah, blah. We're
Right.
not, it's like too hard when all we need to do is read the frickin' list.
That's it. That's it. Just put a little. Well, God, this is amazing, Laurie. Anything else that you would like to, give it to the audience, before we?
Yeah, everybody give yourself a break. We're doing really well. We're
Yeah.
facing extreme situations here. Like I said, all of your finals are on one day. That means the energy is really harsh. But the more you have clarity on self, it brings calm, it brings peace. If you stop judging yourself and just know that in perspective, it's like if things are really, really tough, my suggestion here is that if we look that we're in the middle of a hurricane, and I make the joke, you don't expect to do your taxes when you're in a hurricane. You survive the hurricane.
Right.
So we have so much pressure on us to do this, to do that. We got to solve the world. We got to solve what's going on in politics. We got to solve the market. We got to solve all this stuff. No, all you got to do is survive. Survive in the best way you possibly can for you, for your family. Everything else is secondary. And I mean literally secondary. It's not where you are.
Right.
So give yourself a break, because in perspective, you're doing a great job. Every single person I'm talking to right now is doing a great job. And if you
Beautifully
take
said.
that as an example, as you can really believe that, boy,
Mhm.
that takes pressure off.
Right. I agree with that. Wow, that was beautifully said,
Thank
Laurie.
you.
Beautiful. Laurie, she's a teacher. She's an advisor to a lot of her clients. She's also an author of her books. What's the book name again? I got it
Into the
written.
Aquarian Age,
Into the
understanding the changing consciousness. Yeah.
Yes, you know what? It's on Amazon Kindle, right?
Yeah.
Laurie Kindle. Guys, grab her books. She has written that books about this energy here, Go and get it, because it's a very powerful book that she wrote. So anyway, Laurie, oh my God, today actually really good at advice and then information that you share with the listener. I love that that one, because I think that's going to help so many people. Guys, do your homework, do that, start this Friday, and for men, start next Tuesday until the next full moon. All right, until then, we're going to come back again. Laurie's going to come back with more information in, an energy of the Aquarian age to share with us. How about that? Laurie, thank you so much. You're the best. She's going to come back again and again. Yes, thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, Laurie.
Thank you. You too.
And see you guys in the next video. Thank you.